Hey. All right. So for today's workout, for time, it's going to be an 800-meter run. After that, 3 rounds, 20 alternating dumbbell snatches, a 50-foot single arm overhead walking lunge on the right side, and then 10 lateral burpees over the parallette, and then a 50-foot single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge on the left arm, followed by another 800-meter run. The 800-meter runs are not part of the 3 rounds. And if you are indoors today, you're just going to do the run alternative, which is 4 rounds of 30 high knees, 30 butt kickers, 30 jumping jacks, and 60 run in place steps. Also for the overhead lunges, if you don't quite know what 50 feet is, I would do about 20-ish steps, 20 to 25 steps. And all you're going to need for the workout is a dumbbell and possibly an ab mat for your knees. We're not going to be using the dumbbell in the warm-up, so don't worry about that right now. But we're going to start off with either a 400-meter run or 1 round of the run alternative, which is 30 high knees, 30 butt kickers, 30 jumping jacks, and then 60 run in place steps. So up to you, either 1 round of that or either do 4 rounds of that or a 400-meter run.
I'm going to run real quick.
Okay. All right, and then from there, we're going to get into a pec stretch. So you're going to find some wall space. You're going to place your left arm over your head, kind of in the position where you'd be holding a snatch. From there, you're going to lean into the wall, and you're going to rotate away from that palm and look behind your right shoulder. We're going to hold that for a minute. Go. Really try to lean into it so you feel a stretch in the front of that shoulder and the pec. keep looking behind that right shoulder. Halfway through. And rest. Switch over to the other side. You're going to do the same thing. Other side in 3, 2, 1, and go. Halfway through, keep looking behind that left shoulder. And rest. All right, from here we're going to get into some ostrich walks. So you're going to try and keep your heels on the ground and toes off the ground, keeping the legs as straight as possible. You're going to take a step and reach towards that toe. You're going to take 10 steps forward, and then you're going to do the same thing, taking 10 steps backward. All right, and then we're going to go with some single leg calf raises. You're just going to cross one foot over the other. You're going to do 12 on the left and then 12 on the right. And from there, we're going to get into some eccentric lunges. So you're going to come into a split stance. Make sure your feet are wide enough that you don't feel like you're walking on a tightrope. And you should be able to get a 90-degree angle-ish with your knee on the ground. So you're going to take 3 seconds to come down into the bottom of a lunge, and then 3 seconds to come back up. You're always keeping your feet where they are. You're just moving the knees. 3-second eccentric up and down. You're going to go for 7 reps on each side. All right, from here we're going to get into a tricep stretch, kind of like a prayer stretch, but against the wall. We're only going to be holding for 30 seconds this time. You're going to dig just below your left elbow into the wall, take a few steps back, and really try to lean your chest forward towards that wall. We're going to hold for 30 seconds on each side. In 3, 2, 1, and lean into the wall. The further you step back, the more you're able to kind of lean into that wall. Halfway through on this side. And rest. Switch over to the other side. We're going to go again in 3, 2, 1, and go. Halfway through. And rest. All right, from here, you're going to find some space on the floor. You're going to lie chest facing the ground. You're going to cross your arms behind your low back, palms facing the ceiling. You're going to let them hover upward. Keeping one arm crossed behind your back, you're going to uncross the other, come out into this T shape, half T shape, let the palm rotate down, hover over the top of your head, and then you're going to come back and let the arm cross. So one arm always stays hovering over the low back while the other does the shoulder swimmer. You're going to do 5 with the left arm and then 5 with the right arm. Remember, one is always hovering over the low back, one is moving out into that T shape. All right, when you're done, you can stay on the ground. We're going to do one more exercise on the floor. So you're going to lie down with your back on the floor this time, palms at your sides. You're going to point your toes to face the ceiling, and keeping your toes facing the ceiling the entire time. You're going to take small steps, raising the hips first, trying to bring the heels in, and then you're going to try and keep the hips up as you walk back out. So you're doing a glute bridge and walking into it, focusing on getting the hips off the ground first, and then taking small steps to walk in and out of that glute bridge. So let's go with 8 walk-ins. Try to keep the hips up as you're walking in and out. All right, from there you're going to come into a wide stance. You're gonna have the toes facing slightly outwards, and we're just gonna go with some nice and simple Cossack squats. So you're gonna lean over to one side, come back to the start, lean over to the other. So it's 16 alternating reps. All right, and then we're gonna finish off the warm up with some planking shoulder tap push-ups. So I'm gonna come into a plank, straddle my stance just a little bit. I'm gonna go right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder, push up, and you're gonna repeat that for 10 reps. So opposite hand, opposite shoulder, a push up in between, 10 of those. All right, so now we're gonna start talking about the workout. Again, you're gonna start off with an 800-meter run, then 3 rounds of 20 alternating dumbbell snatches, a 50-foot single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge on the right arm, 10 lateral burpees over a parallette, and then a 50 single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge on the left side, followed by 1 more 800-meter run. So we're just going to go through the list in order as usual. So have your dumbbell nearby. All right, we're going to start off with some nice and simple dumbbell deadlifts. You're going to straddle your stance, have your object just in front of your feet. You're going to grab it and set your lat. You're going to go with 10 alternating dumbbell deadlifts. Cool. From there, we're going to move on to some high pulls. So from that deadlift, you're just going to keep rotating up. Let that elbow come up so it's directly over your shoulder. You're going to go with 10 alternating high pulls. Cool. And then we're going to finish off with the full dumbbell snatch. So just make sure that you're extending the arms from that high pull. Remember, you can switch at the top or switch arms at the bottom. So with 10 alternating dumbbell snatches. All right, the next movement is going to be the single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge. So before we use the weight, we're just going to have one arm directly overhead. So I'm going to start with my left, and I'm just going to do 4 lunge steps with my left arm up. Then I'm going to do 4 lunge steps with my right arm up. So 4 lunge steps with the left arm all the way up and right next to your ear, and then 4 with the right. No weight just yet. No weight just yet. So Mike, you can alternate legs, you just can't alternate arms.
Oh, I gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. So I know I was reading it and I like stopped on the last one because I was a little confused too. But yeah, switch legs as you're doing your lunges. Just don't switch arms until the second one. But yeah, so for the actual lunge, just a scaling option in case your weight is too heavy, you can hold the dumbbell in the front rack and just do your lunges like that, or you can have it in the front rack and have one arm overhead just to practice that overhead position a little bit. And then obviously the full movement is going to be to have that object overhead as you're doing your lunges. So you're going to give me 4 more steps with the object overhead, either with the scaling or the RX option. 4 more on each side. Make sure that you're shrugging that shoulder up. Cool. All right, and then the last movement we need to go over is the lateral burpee over a parallette. I'm assuming that you don't have a parallette, and neither do I. So I'm just going to be using the dumbbell as a makeshift parallette. So lateral burpees, pretty simple. You just stand to the side of your object. You do your burpee. You hop over the object. Do your burpee again. Right now, let's just go with 4 lateral burpees. Oh, that's smart. You can set up the barbell too. All right, cool. I'm going to go over the workout one more time, and then we'll get started. So again, 800-meter run. That should take about 5-ish minutes. After that, we're getting into 3 rounds, 20 alternating dumbbell snatches, a 50-foot single-arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge with the right arm, 10 lateral burpees over the parallette, then a 50-foot single-arm overhead walking lunge with the left arm. After 3 rounds of that, last 800-meter run. Just something to keep in mind, your shoulders are going to be a little fatigued after those alternating dumbbell snatches, especially after 1 to 2 rounds. So just take a second before you get into that overhead lunge. You are going to be holding that weight for a little bit, so just keep that in mind. And then same thing moving from the burpees to the overhead walking lunges on the left arm. Again, if you don't know what 50 feet is, I would go with about 20 to 25 steps total. Yeah.
I'm going to do 20 because I got a pretty long stride. So.
Yeah. That's why I was like, it's a range. People's strides are approximately 2 feet, so half of that. But yeah, 20, 25 steps is completely fine. Cool. Just let me know when you're ready to get started, and I'll count down and start the timer.
I'm ready to go. I'll be behind the
Alright.
camera when you say start, but I'll start running when you say it.
Okay. We get started in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, after that run, 3 rounds, 20 alternating dumbbell snatches, 50-foot single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge with the left, 10 lateral burpees over the parallette, and then the walking lunge on the right. All right, 10 minutes in. All right, one more round and then last 800-meter run. All right, last 800-meter run. All right, nice job, 22:02. All right, we're gonna do a quick cool down. You're just gonna have a seat on the ground. You're gonna have your knees up. You're gonna start by crossing the right hand underneath the right leg and over the left knee. And then you're gonna grab on to your right knee. From here, you're just gonna go with 10 nice and slow circles with the ankle clockwise, and then 10 counterclockwise. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the left ankle. And then we're just gonna finish off with some forearm smash. So you're gonna have your forearm on the ground, palm facing up. You're gonna dig the opposite elbow into the meaty part of that forearm. And then you're just gonna draw 10 circles clockwise and then 10 circles counterclockwise and repeat the same thing on the opposite arm. Really try and dig into that forearm. All right, nice job, Mike. Thanks for taking class today.
Thank you, Ursula. Sorry, what was my time again? 21:30 or something?
22:02.
22:02. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, Mike.
See you later.